I'm Deanna, and we are super excited for our 4th ever paint along party. We're going to paint modern florals here. We've gotten the party started with our lovely party here and with some of our favorite bloggers in Atlanta. We are so thrilled tonight to partner with Creative Bug, which is an amazing site where you can learn tons and tons of new things with over 1,000 different award-winning classes from top designers and artists. And speaking of top designers and artists, we're here with Courtney Siruni.
Hi everyone, you guys are probably familiar if you're with Creative Bug, seeing me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm super excited to be here at the Plaid headquarters in Atlanta.
Yeah, so let's let's get started painting modern florals with Courtney.
Everyone! Welcome. Okay, so this may look a little scary. I'm gonna just break painting down pretty quickly and easily so you guys all feel really successful and super confident. We're gonna start with your materials and a little bit of brush work. So it's not scary, feel free to ask questions. There is no perfect way to paint. Your painting should not look like this at the end. You can have any color flower, choose your own background. We really want this to be in your own style. So the first thing is we're gonna be painting on wooden panels. I prefer this to canvas, but if you're at home watching us, you can of course be painting on canvas. What's awesome about the folk art acrylic paints is you can also just paint on paper. So if you want to do this technique in your sketchbook, you can. If you want to do it on canvas, you can. My favorite is the wooden panel, so you have a wooden panel in front of you. The colors we'll be using tonight, I have a handy list. And the great thing also about this line of paint is that there are around 225 total colors, so you don't have to do a lot of mixing, but because we wanted to keep it simple for you all and for the folks at home, we just did a select number of colors. And the colors that you have in front of you, I'm going to read them off, and maybe you should like arrange them. We have yellow lemon, that's not the neon yellow, that's going to be our standard yellow. We've got lipstick red, which looks just like it sounds. Brilliant ultramarine, that's our true blue, it's like our primary blue color. Thunder, that's our darkest blue. That mixes really nicely with our red to create a super deep eggplanty purple. It's perfect for our floral shadows. Wicker white, we're just using any white paint, whatever your preference. Italian sage, this is our color that looks like cement in the bottle. With the gray neutral, I'm going to talk a little bit about how colors work together. And neutrals really activate those neons. So it's nice to pair some kind of muddy colors with your really bright colors to make them pop, which is great for florals. And then of course my favorite, neon pink. Everyone should be able to find that one. And then we've also got a neon yellow because they mix really well. I've got an aqua, because sometimes that can be tricky to mix, and then a lime green, which is kind of our standard light green. Like I said, the folk art paint, I love it. It's really thick and creamy right out of the bottle. You don't have to mix your colors, but because they have so many in the line, but because we're doing a limited palette for tonight, you can actually get a ton of range. And I've made like a cheat sheet up here. So if you are in the middle of painting your roses and you want something more in the coral range, you can mix neon yellow, neon pink, you'll get this color, and just by adding some white, you can get some really lovely blush tones. So this is like really easy mixing. And if you go home and this is like all you do is just mix a bunch of paint on a piece of paper, then that's successful because that is actually really pretty, right? So if you just want to like do a quick reference, anytime you can look up here for this kind of like cheat sheet. And I'm just adding white paint in these other columns. And then you have this great brush pack in front of you that has a ton of brushes in it. We're just going to use 3 or 4 tonight. So the first one is the 5/8 inch angle. So we're just looking for like a chunky brush, and this is the chunkiest one in your pack, and that's why I picked it. So everyone find this brush. It's the one that has a chisel tip. And what's awesome is that you can draw it down and make a fat mark, and you can use it on its edge and make a skinny line, so you get a lot of versatility and brush stroke with this. I'm going to have you guys practice in just a sec. I just want you to locate your brushes. And then I've got a size 8 flat. So it's about a 1/2 inch flat. Everyone should have what I have up here. So you're gathering your brushes. We've got a chisel and about a 1/2 inch. And then we've got a 1 inch round. Our round brushes are awesome because they always come to a point, which means you can get both a fine line, and if you apply pressure, you can get a thick line. So this is going to be used to, if you want to do some outlining in your floral painting, this is what we're going to use. That's our one round. It's going to be one of your tiniest brushes. Yeah. Yep, and you can take that little plastic top off. Those you don't need to keep, that's just for packaging, so you're not gonna try to put that back onto your brush after you're done tonight, because that'll ruin your brush. And then, I might have lost a brush or two on my way from the hotel here. I have a 6 filbert, but you can use a 5 round, or you can use this number 6 filbert. A filbert is like a little oval. It's good for making petals, so you can use this, or if you have a 5 round at home, I think we sold out of this brush pack for using a 5 round, that works too. We basically have a small, a medium, and a large brush. That's what we're working with, right? It's going to give us some variety in brush stroke and mark making. And then the rest of the brushes, you can just tuck into your goodie bag or put back in the pouch just so you're not confused and grasping for brushes because we have so many. But feel free to take these out and play with them at home, learn the different marks they make. On the back of your package, there's a really great quick guide on the different strokes that they make. And I do believe also on Plaid's website, there is a brush stroke PDF you can download for further reference. Okay, and then you have water in these awesome little containers. You've got a plate for your palette. For anybody watching at home, anything will work for your palette. I just always use a plate. I haven't been using a glass plate. And then paper towel. Okay, so we're gonna start by taking one of your plates and just pick a darker color, something red, pink, blue, maybe just not yellow or white. And we're just going to practice a few brush strokes. We're going to start with that angled brush and a piece of sketchbook paper that you have in front of you, copy paper. So put out a little bit of paint onto your plate. I did it again. Don't worry about that. So everyone should have a little dollop of paint on their plate. Pick any color you like. And then find that angled chisel brush. And we're going to start on our scrapbook paper, not on our canvas. And we're just going to practice the marks that this makes. Yes? Yeah. Okay. You don't have to dip into the water to start. You can. If you did, you did not do anything wrong. Don't worry. But you can just dip right into that thick and creamy faux art paint. And if you just draw it down, kind of get a wide stroke. I am doing this upside down and backwards, so my strokes may not look perfect. And you can play with that. You can see if you have a lot of paint or a little bit of paint, you get a more dry brush look versus if you load your brush up with a lot of paint, you get a cleaner line. Right, so play with that. We're just building your arsenal of skills here for when you're making roses in a little bit. And if you also turn it on its chisel, you're not applying a lot of pressure. So I'm not pressing hard on the brush. Oh, Nikki, I'm assuming it's Nikki here. Yes. She's doing little marks. I love that. This is a good opportunity. Let's say roses, when you go home, roses aren't your thing, that's fine. I actually have a class on Creative Bug that's abstract painting where we're not painting roses, we're just doing little marks and things. And so whatever is comfortable. That could be a petal.
In trouble.
No, I love it. This is what's inspiring about being in a group of people because then you get to see what your neighbor's doing, what you're doing, and how everyone's interpreting the prompt. It's perfect. Yeah, we've got people playing with swirls here. So play with the different marks that the brush is going to make. Hot pink, love it. So the idea is that you can draw, if you're using the chisel, you can get a fine line for using it full on its side. And the other thing, this might be hard for me to show, but if I just kind of drag it on its side, I get a chiseled line. So if I go really light and then press down, I get a thicker line, and then I come back up light, and I get a little crescent moon. Let me get some water here because I'm drying out. So let's try it again. Thin and then thick by pressing down and then lifting. I get that little crescent moon. Like I said, upside down and backwards, so it's not perfect, but yeah, I see some great S marks, yeah, this is perfect, you guys. Ugly Duckling DIY has already gone ahead and painted a beautiful rose on her scratch. I love it. No, that's great. So she's, she's improvising, she's playing with how she's building those shapes, which is awesome. Tonight is about experimentation, and then you can be perfect when you go home, but tonight you can just play with everything and get a sense of what you like.
And then while everyone is practicing at home, why don't we say hello to a couple of our bloggers over here. This is Erin. Tell us the name of your blog.
Hi, I blog at erinspain.com, and you can find me on social media at Erin Spain Blog. And I'm also launching a podcast this week. It's called the North South Makers Podcast. So that launches on Thursday.
Right on.
Awesome. And what's this gorgeous Rose over here? Tell us about your blog and your name.
I am Sarah from uglyducklinghouse.com, and I blog about home improvement mainly, a lot of home repair and DIY, and I'm just getting into woodworking, but you can find me on social media at Ugly Duckling DIY.
Awesome. All right, Courtney, what do you have going on next for everybody?
So we're gonna wash out our brush, and we're gonna change to the smallest brush, which was our 1 round. So grab a new piece of sketch paper. You can just, the nice thing about the acrylic paint is it does dry pretty fast. Just set aside your sketchbook paper, or if you still have room, you can continue on, that's fine. This time, why don't you dip your brush in the water, because we're gonna make some finer lines, and then pick up some paint. I'm gonna get a little more water. We're using the 1 round, so that's our tiny round brush that comes to a point at the edge, at the tip. And we're gonna add a little bit more water until this is like a thick or heavy cream consistency. My water is in a different place than my palette. Okay. Good, so we're adding a little bit of water to our paint. We're thinning it down a little bit. So another thing that's awesome about the folk art acrylic is that you can use it thick or thin. You can use glazing medium with it if you want, but you can also just use water. So we're using water. All right. And this brush, you can also make lines with it. This is with full pressure applied, so I get a pretty consistent, about a 1/4 inch line. I can also use it up on its tip and get a fine line. If I press down, I get a thicker mark. If I lift up, I get a thinner mark. If you can see that. You guys are probably gonna do way better at this than I am.
Hey, and if you're just now joining us, take a look. Courtney Siruni is here from Creative Bug and teaching us how to paint this amazing painting called Modern Florals in just about an hour. Going over some awesome stroke work techniques right now.
We're gonna dive in soon, I promise. Just getting you comfortable with your brushes. I heard a few people say, oh, I don't have any artistic skill, but this is it, you're already starting. And just like Nikki was doing earlier, you can also just play with making dots. Maybe you wanna add this as a texture into the background of your floral painting at the end of the night. Yeah, those are great. Great light swirls and curly cues. You can see the difference between adding water and getting a nice crisp line, using a more dry brush feel by not adding the water. So these are things that you can pull from as you go into painting. They all look really good, you guys. This is the blue corner. They're all in their blue periods. Got some warms here. All right. Is everyone feeling like a little more confident with their brush work? Does not feel aspirated? Okay, awesome. All right, we're gonna set this all aside and we're gonna start with the most basic and boring thing, which is just to cover our panel with a background. This is gonna prime the panel. As you learn how to paint with acrylic, you could of course just paint on the naked wood, but we're gonna paint a background to start with. So this is what I talked about earlier. I like to start with a neutral color. The awesome thing about the acrylic folk art paint is you can layer. So even if we start with a medium, kind of dark, this is the Italian sage right out of the bottle. I can lighten this up later, or I can darken it later, but we want to start with a medium tone so that we can identify our lights and our darks. So I'm using Italian sage. I want you to pick some kind of semi-neutral color. So if you look up at this guide chart, this is like the range that we're looking at. So if you want to pick sort of a muddier purple tone or a blush tone, you can paint your background that, but I don't want something too light, I don't want something too dark. So let's pick a medium tone. So if you've never mixed any color before, I'm gonna pick my biggest brush just because I have this big canvas here. Try to blot out as much water as you can for this background. So if you are using your big brush, rinse it out and then blot it out. And let's mix. I can mix some Italian sage with, maybe I want to do a different color. This is a little bit of that thunder, and I'm getting myself like kind of a gray. So I'm mixing a gray using my thunder white and Italian sage. But you can mix any sort of neutrally muddy tone. Muddy is not a bad word in this case. This is a good word. This is what we're going for.
Courtney, one more time. What colors are you using?
I am using Italian sage with white and thunder, but you can be mixing any kind of medium tone. You don't want it to be too vibrant. So if you are picking like a more of a blush tone, maybe add a little bit of blue in there or a little bit of the Italian sage just to bring down the saturation. We don't want something super bright because our florals are going to be super bright. All right, and we're just going to cover. This is like super messy brush strokes. We're just covering this. That's all we're doing. I wouldn't add water at this stage, okay? We want this to dry pretty quickly. That's the nice thing about working with the paint, the folk art paint. It doesn't all have to be the same color. Sometimes it's hard when you're mixing your own colors to get a huge batch of exactly the same color. You see how mine's kind of streaky and I've got kind of a few grays? That's totally fine. This does not have to be perfect because we can add later.
And while everyone at home is continuing to coverage, let's meet a couple more of our blogger friends over here. And y'all blog together, is that right?
Yeah. We do
yes,
blog
tell us the name of
together.
y'all's blog.
We are, this is Olivia, my
Hi.
daughter. I'm Tracy. We blog at Nestful of New, and we're at nestfulofnew.com and Nestful of New on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Come see us.
Awesome, and I love the color that you mixed here. That's
Oh,
beautiful. And if you're just now joining us, we're painting modern florals here with Courtney Siruni from Creative Bug. And Uni, tell us a little bit about your blog.
Okay, I'm Uni and I blog at Love Your Abode, and I am passionate about creating a home, and I blog about DIY, interior design, decorating, and recipes and all that stuff. So hope to see you there.
Awesome. All right, Courtney, what's our next step going on?
We're still painting the background.
All right, still backgrounding.
Still
All right.
background.
Well, hey, let's say hello to a couple more of our favorite bloggers here in Atlanta over here. Lori, you got your background going on. Tell us the name of your blog.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I blog at 4011 Designs, and you can find me all over social media at Lori McCullers or on Instagram, McCullersLori.com, or McCullersLori, that's it. And so I do a lot of paper crafting, painting, a little bit of everything, so come see me.
Awesome. And Jennifer, I love the color that you've got for your
Thanks.
background here. Tell us the name of your blog.
All right, I'm Jennifer Jones. I blog at fiddledd.com. I am a lifestyle blog, a little DIY, a little decorating, a little cooking, a lot of travel. And you can find me at Instagram at Jennifer Watkins Jones, or you can find me on Facebook at fiddledd.
All right, and let's take another look at modern florals, which Courtney, why don't you tell us a little bit about Creative Bug?
Oh yes, hey everyone, hopefully you guys are watching on both Plaid and Creative Bug. I'm from Creative Bug. We have over 1,000 classes in painting, drawing, quilting, fabric design. I can't even think of all the categories at the moment. We have so many. We always do live shoots on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4, so this is going to be different for me because I'm in Atlanta. Sorry. I'm also painting. So it's 7:30 here. That means it's 4:30 back at home. And the great thing about live is that you can write in and ask questions. And this time, instead, we have all of our viewers here live, which is awesome because they're asking questions in real time. But check out Creative Bug. I think we can post a link, right, to some trial goodness. And you can check out Creative Bug for 2 weeks free, if not longer.
And we're also doing a super exciting giveaway. If you check out the link in the description of the video, we're giving away a full year subscription to Creative Book and $150 of Plaid goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Very
You can make
exciting.
paintings like this all day long. All year long, actually, because you'll have a year worth of Creative Bug. And you'll be seeing me a lot then. All right, everybody's panel's looking really good. Plaid people in the back, awesome. He's looking great. Ooh, I love, this is all great. I love that mix. This is great. Okay, yeah, so you guys get the concept of the muddy. This is what we're doing. We're doing this like medium tone so that we can add our really vibrant florals on top. It always changes because you can layer folk art paint on top of it. It's acrylic, and it layers really nicely once it's dry. It does have a pretty long open working time, which allows you to blend and shade nicely. So we're using it for all of its best properties and qualities. So I have a kind of streaky background, but that's okay. I don't mind how that looks. I like it. You can also, like I mentioned, I had an abstract painting class on Creative Bug. You can also use a credit card for this first layer to get a really nice application of paint, and you could even play with layering your colors.
Credit card?
Yeah, you can use a credit card. I don't have one in my pocket, but you would just squish it out. All right. If you are ready to move to the next step, just wash out your brush. And you're going to probably use a new palette. You don't have to throw your palette away. You can just move it aside. I'm going to wash out my brush too.
While you're brush washing at home, let's say hello to a couple more of our friends here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your blog?
Hi, I'm Bethany. I blog at Mom of Wild Things. I'm a parenting lifestyle blogger with an emphasis on reading and raising kids to be adventurers. So come see me.
Awesome, and Anna?
Hi, I'm Anna Teal, and I'm at Made So Full. I'm a DIY blog. So come on and visit me and create something that speaks to you.
All right, brushes washed at home. We hope so. Courtney, what's going on next?
Drying
bit.
paint a little.
So take a quick drink break if you need to at home.
Yes, what a great idea. This is
grab a drink.
A drink break. That's perfect. Actually, does anybody here need a drink?
We'll totally hook you up.
Yeah, we can bring you a drink. Once we're dry, we're going to start blocking in our florals, which are just big blobby shapes in a few colors, and then we're going to add some definition. So think about what kind of colors you want your flowers to be. They can be straight out of the bottle colors, or you can mix. So start on a new palette, a new plate. Oh, I love that area. Let's make 3. Let's do 3 different colors. So I have like an orange, a pink, and kind of a murky red. You can go back up to your cheat sheet up here if you need some help mixing your colors. So just mix or squirt that onto a new palette, and this is going to be for your big blobs, which will become your flowers. All right. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water because I put my paints out earlier. And again, I'm painting upside down. How's everyone doing? Do you guys have questions? Any 3 colors. These are your floral colors, but John, they don't have to be red, pink, or orange. They could be like purple flowers, blue flowers.
It's a lot of stress to pick my own color.
You picked your own background. You did a good job.
All right. Jackie, help.
So I'm still using my angled chisel brush. This is the 5/8" angle brush. And I'm just doing like a big kind of irregular blob for my flower. I'll wait and let everyone catch up. Yes, I need to see what I did too. I'm like, what did I do? Yeah. So if everyone looks up here, you may not be at this stage yet, and that's totally fine, but you are just making a few flowers. I like to do things in odd numbers. Since all of you have an aesthetic eye and are designers, you've probably heard this before. I like to do like 3 or 5 as opposed to a pair. So because I'm working in just my red to start, I'm going to do 3 red. I'm still using that angled chisel. And I am thinking a little bit about my composition. I'm not making a wallpaper pattern here. I'm leaving room for like a vase at the bottom. So these are kind of in the top half of my canvas. So just start, ooh, I love that color combination. This is great. That's lovely. Yeah, these are gonna be good.
And while everyone's catching up at home, let's say hello to Mama Made That. Tell us a little bit about your blog.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I blog at mymommadethat.com, and my blog is focused on a busy hand lead to a happy heart and celebrating the creativity and crafty goodness in every mom.
Awesome. Courtney, are you ready to do a next step going on?
Okay, so I know not everyone is there yet. That's fine. You don't have to mix perfect first colors. You just want to get something down. And then we're gonna pick another color and add 2 more flowers. The other thing I want to remind you is you don't want to overwork the surface. If your base layer, your background is still wet and you brush and overwork it, then you're going to start picking up some of your background color and then everything will be muddy, which is not what we want. That's okay. We have an opportunity to go over it and make it vibrant. It's okay if it's a little dark. That looks good. This is like rapid fire painting. That's good. Put it down. Let's do it. It's great. Sure. It's good. No, it's good. Perfect. Good.
No turning back now.
Oh, let me say, the neons are a little more transparent. So if you have a dark background, you can add a little bit of white, and then that'll cover better. So if you've got all neon, we've got a couple of my favorite neon red coral color. Add a little touch of white, and that will help the opacity, and your flowers will cover better, and you'll be happier. That color is great, though. I love that color.
And we're having so much fun with our Atlanta bloggers here. We are also going to say hello to some of our friends out there watching. Katie and Jessie are sisters and are painting at home along with us. So, hi Katie and Jessie. We have people from all over. We have people from Canada. We have people from North Carolina. We have people from all over the world joining us tonight at Plaid.
Yay!
Okay, so I'm going to join the trend here and add a little bit of that kind of coral color. Although I'm mixing my colors a little bit, that's fine. All right, I'm just going to add kind of 2 blobby shapes. Sorry, would this be better? Is that better? Was I supposed to be using the easel?
That's funny. Someone actually made a comment of easel versus holding, but you're holding it just to be able to show everyone.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
want to pop it on the easel now, we can totally
Would not, yeah.
do that.
There we go. I just painted that. You're not, though.
Hey, and hello to Peggy from Winston-Salem, and hello to Paige from Texas. Paige loves to design. We do too. You just have to figure out where you're going to hang your beautiful painting once you're done with it. It's the hard part.
No, hopefully you're going to be making many more after this. Okay. All right, I see. Oh, good. I'm seeing some flowers go down. We have at least 3. Switch your color and add 1 or 2 in a new color. This is looking really good, you guys. I love the color combinations that are happening. I see Suzanne's got a whole bouquet. John has got some really lovely pinks and reds happening.
So in the back there we have some Plaid peeps, including Kira. It's her birthday today. Woo! All right, let's take a look at what colors that you have on your palette here,
Yeah,
Courtney,
so I'm
and then we'll
using
look at our
a lemon yellow, a little bit of neon pink, and a little bit of my wicker white to get a corally tone. And you can push and pull. You can play with this until you've got the right color. Again, I'm sure that folk art actually comes in this color, but because we're using a limited palette, we can mix it. So we have the opportunity to do that. So I'm adding a little bit lighter on top here. And then maybe I want to add some small little. So I'm using my brush, we're all using that chisel brush, and you know what, the brush that you have in your hand is a great one to use. It's like that whole thing about your camera. It's that whole thing about your camera, right? Whatever camera you have on you is the best one, just like your phone. So I'm just using this brush. I don't need anything smaller yet because I'm not doing any detail. I'm just marking out my kind of blob flowers. And they look like blobs now, but they won't later, so that's awesome. All right, I've added a few little dots, kind of dotty flowers. Just because I like the variation in size. We have variation in color, now we're adding some variation in size. Sorry. Used to make mite. Okay. All right. How's everyone doing? I hope nobody feels left behind. Good? Okay. This is looking really good. I love the color combinations already, and we're only a couple flowers in. This is really good. Okay. All right. So now I'm at a point where I've got 3 of those big red flowers. That's what I started with. I've got these corally flowers and some little dotty flowers that I've added. And I've created these negative space moments in my bouquet. I'm going to fill those in, and things are going to overlap a little bit, but I want a really full, lush bouquet. We can always add in leaves or stems after everything's dry. So I'm going to go probably with an ochre color. I've got a lot of vibrancy in my flowers, really deep saturation with that lipstick red right out of the bottle. So to make an ochre, come here. I'm going to use a little bit of my lemon yellow. I'll probably pick up a little bit of the red so that this is warmer. Red is a stronger color, so we need a lot more yellow. And maybe a little bit of blue, which is the complement, to kind of get in the brown zone. That's looking good, but it needs more yellow to bring it back up. This is my yellow ochre tone.
Did you use the thunder blue or the brighter one?
I used a little bit of actually the ultramarine is what I used. But you could use either. All right, so that's looking good. It's like a honey kind of wheat tone. Like I said, I'm sure Folk makes an exact color like this, but we mixed ours.
Can you repeat the color?
Sure. So I'm using a lemon yellow for my ochre tone, a little bit of red to warm it up, and then because I want it to be on the ochre side, so on the kind of more neutral, muddy side, I added a little bit of my ultramarine blue. And that's going to give me my ochre. I think ochre would look great with a lot of what everyone has here. I kind of picked a palette that would work together. But you can, of course, use a different color. Yeah, like mustard. Yeah, like a mustard. Okay. Like a Dijon.
I'm just gonna get it.
Yeah, like a Dijon tone. And I'm gonna use this to block in some flowers just kind of in between. I'm kind of like painting in between the lines. Now, our goal is not to cover up all of the background. So I like little moments of the background peeking through in between the flowers. I think that looks really nice. I want to close up the biggest gaps, but I don't mind a little bit of the background showing through. I think that's like a nice moment. So I've got tiny little snippets of gray in here that I'm not worried about. And personally, I don't like everything symmetrical, so I'm doing my yellow ochre over there. And one thing we haven't talked about, and this might be like a little more than you guys are capable of tonight just because I'm throwing a ton of information at you, is if you're not 100% sure and you're not ready for your drink break yet, you can squint your eyes and get a sense if things are feeling like balanced, if you like the way it looks. If nothing is popping out to you or too much is popping out to you, that's going to tell you. So when I look at this, I feel like I want one really vibrant like neon color in here. Like maybe a neon orange color. And that's like my sense of color. You guys might have your own go-to colors. I think a lot of people are working with their own palette and it's looking really awesome. I'm also maybe running out of room. I did not say switch palettes. Feel free to switch palettes as needed. I want something really vibrant. Yeah, I think that might work. I might just want something here. Okay. So I mentioned earlier that the neons are slightly more translucent. Because I'm painting neon on my gray background, I'm not getting the pop that I want. I can wait for it to dry, paint a little bit of white, and then glaze on top with a neon, or I can just mix a little bit of white into my existing mixture. We talked about this a little bit earlier, so I can get that pop that I want. And I'll go over that again with more neon. You guys are looking so good. No, they look awesome. They're already looking like flowers. I love seeing everyone's color palette. It's really good.
Hey, while everyone is catching up at home, let's say hello to a couple more of our vlogger friends. Tell us all about your vlog.
Hi, I'm Shelly Dozier McKee. I blog at Confetti Style, and I am an interior designer here in Atlanta, and I have a design and lifestyle blog. Write a lot about entertaining and gifting and just how to live a stylish life.
Awesome. Check that out, everyone. And I love this blue background that you have here.
Thank you.
It's so pretty. Tell us about your blog.
Hello, my name is Montina Bird Harris, and I blog at Encore Creations. I'm at blogspot.com. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus because of life, and I'm back in the swing of things now, and I do a lot of DIY, and as the name implies, I like to give things an encore, a second chance. So I take something old and give it a new life and a new purpose.
Right, I love that. Everybody needs a second chance. If you're messed up your painting, just paint over it. Second chance it out. And tell us about your blog. I love the gray you have going on here.
Thanks. I am Nikki, and I blog at homeadeville.com. And Homeadeville is your place for homemade inspiration. So anything homemade, new life, all those things, we do it there.
Awesome. All right, Courtney.
Okay. So now that we've got the majority of our florals down, things are pretty solid as far as our composition. We've left a big open gap for the base of our vase. We also want to add some green. So I want to do the greens next. And you can use the green right out of the bottle if you like. This is lime green, but I'm going to darken it a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of the lime green. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of that thunder color. And I'm going to get a little bit of an olivey tone. I like that, and I like the combination of both. So feel free to mix on a new palette if you need. And this is where we're going to use that chisel in a different way. We're going to use it on its edge and then press down and then lift back up to give us kind of like a little leaf shape.
Okay.
Okay.
So you say.
Okay, that sounds great. Yes. Okay. Let's do a little practice here. Okay. All right. So, of course, I have nothing behind me, but we're just doing a press down. We're letting the brush do the work for us. It's not going to look just like this. You can just do this. I mean, this is like the most basic. Not even on a canvas. And he still kind of looks like a leaf, right? The thing is, when you see it with flowers, it will look like a leaf. It doesn't matter how perfect or imperfect your mark is.
What did you mix for your green leaf?
I've got the lime green with a little bit of that thunder color. Okay. So I'm going to add it in. I like to have it sticking out. If your flowers are dry, you can paint right over the edges of your flowers. If you pick a little bit of paint up, don't worry about it. I also like to have leaves coming down from the bottom. I want to get some variation in my tone here. I'm going to add a little bit more of my thunder color. Hope you guys at home are having fun painting too.
And if you have any questions at home, feel free to post those, and Courtney will answer them live here with us.
So I'm just looking at my composition and seeing where I might need some leaves. They're going in all different directions. Some are at the top of my bouquet, pointing down. Some are trailing off the bottom here. Yeah, you like the leaves?
I like the leaves.
I love it. She found the thing that she loves. She's like, I like the leaves. If you have a darker composition of flowers, you can go lighter. Maybe you want to mix your leaf green with some white or a little bit of aqua to get a more minty tone. I'm totally running out of room on my palette here, but you get a sense of it. You can play with your colors. This is more like a sagey tone, and maybe I want to just add some highlights in here.
Leaves in 2 different colors.
Yes, of course. Yes, the question was, could we do leaves in multiple colors? Yes, totally. Play with mixing your greens. Actually, I just learned on Creative Bug, we have an acrylic ink painting class with Missy Dunaway. And she told me that green is the color that the eye can see the most variations of. It's something like 300 different shades of green. So feel free to mix any shade of green you like.
Okay, show us one more time how to...
Yes, okay. So I'm using the chisel like this. Where are we going to do this? I'll just do it on here. Okay, so I'm just like touching it. I'm no pressure, press down and like lift up. I was playing today with Andy, who's on staff here at Plaid, and he was getting me to make these really specific shapes, and I was having a really, really hard time. Not this shape, but other shapes. So I understand that when I say go light and press down and lift up, that's maybe not the most obvious for everyone. John's squinting back there. I think he's like checking out his composition.
Courtney.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm filling in kind of the spaces between my flowers. And I can always go back. I can always go back once things dry and add more things on top. I can add more leaves. I can add more flowers where there weren't any. Oh, the other thing that sometimes helps me is I actually start at the tip of the leaf, press down, and then go toward the bouquet. So even when I'm like down here, I can do that too. It's whatever feels the most comfortable. It's whatever feels the most comfortable. All right.
All right, and if you're just now joining us, we are painting modern florals here, this gorgeous painting here, in about an hour with Courtney Siruni from Creative Bug, our special guest artist for our fourth ever Paint with Plaid night. And we've got some questions out there about how often we do this. Our next one is actually going to be on November 2nd, and we will post that right after we conclude this one. So get excited and RSVP for that one too.
Okay, so most of you have flowers and you have leaves. This is all looking awesome. We're gonna let these dry a little bit and we're gonna paint our vase. That way we can come back and add highlights or lowlights, I guess is what you'd say if you're used to dyeing hair, in the centers of our flowers. So pick a color for your vase. You could have a white vase. I tend toward the like indigo kind of deep tone, like a really dark purple, a dark blue, or a dark green for my vase. But feel free to use whatever color speaks to you and to the flowers that you have. Maybe you want a bright orange vase, and that's fine. I might do like a deep purple tone. I want to add a little bit of red to this to change up. I don't want it to be just the blue. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to paint around my flowers to try to create sort of a vase. I like these kind of bulbous bottom vases, but you can do any shape that you feel comfortable with. And like I said, you can change it too. So I'm painting around my flowers that are already there, mixing kind of a really deep purple. And I'm pressing down when I want, like when I want a thicker stroke, I'm putting pressure on the brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of water. So I can get a cleaner edge. How are you guys doing? Good. Okay. While our base or the vase is wet, I'm actually going to pick up a little bit of white and add it in and get some shading in here. I can refine that a little bit later. Just kind of blending it out. Ooh, I went down a little low. That's fine. I'll just refine this line. Do another darker color here.
All right, and if you're just now joining us, we have a super fun giveaway. If you're watching us live, check out the link in the description of the video where you can enter to win a free year subscription to Creative Bug and $150 worth of Plaid products. So check out that link in the video description.
Means you could make lots and lots of paintings. I'm gonna add a little bit more of my highlight here. So we're painting our vase. We're kind of picking, I like a dark color, but you could have gone super bright and that's fine. While the paint is wet, I'm just adding a little bit of white to get some shaping on one side. You can pick the left or the right side. We don't have a light source for this because we're doing just kind of a contemporary approach to our florals. But just so that the vase has a little bit of shape, we're adding a little bit of white there.
While you're doing that, Courtney, tell us, I'm just curious, Also, what is your favorite class that you have on Creative Bug?
That's really hard. I have like over 100 classes. It's so tricky. Actually, I think my current favorite is I just did a daily challenge. It's 1 class a day, so 5-minute class. And it's about bringing more creativity into your life. So it's little tiny projects. It's not as difficult as making a painting in one sitting, but it's about how to like awaken your kind of creative eye and your creative spirit, and people have been really loving it. We have over 100 comments on the classes that people's like lives have, daily routine has changed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun.
That's amazing. Also in the description of the video, you'll find a code for a free month trial to Creative Bug, and don't forget to enter our giveaway to enter to win a whole year subscription.
Yeah, we have lots of daily challenges. We have an entire year's worth of daily challenges from drawing, painting, lots of good things coming. So, right, how are people doing? Hey, Plaid people back there, show me your paintings. Can I see? Oh, this is looking awesome. Oh, I love it. That's okay.
Oh, that looks so good.
These look really good, you guys. No, that's okay. That you haven't started your base. That you haven't started your base yet. You're getting there. Okay. So my flowers are pretty one-dimensional. This is where we can use a little bit of light, dry brush on top of our flowers. Some of you may have already done that with some blending and paint mixing. But I'm going to go in and add some darker points in the middle of these flowers. My palette is totally caked in paint here. That's okay, I'm just going to use it. Definitely need some more of my lipstick red. Gonna go in and add, just using the edge of my chisel here, add some centers. My flowers are still wet, so they're blending a little, and that's totally fine. You can use that to your advantage. Kind of pulling.
And if you're painting along with us at home, be sure to post your painting to our Facebook page or on Instagram with #PaintWithPlaid. We would love to see your work. We've had Jillian, I know, out there who has posted all 3 of her paintings, so we hope to see your 4th one here added to the collection too. This is a monthly series that we do called Paint with Plaid, where you can have your favorite beverage, have your best friend, have a date night, whatever you want to do, just to have a fun night at home. Just grab your supplies, and we will be here once a month painting along with you.
I love that. That one's looking a little bit muddy. I'm going to let it dry. It's still too wet. I'm going to go in.
Can you explain what you're doing with the flowers?
Yes.
I was still doing
Yes.
the beads. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm just going in with the chisel tip, and kind of like the leaves we did, I'm angling petals in toward the center. This is still a little wet, so it's getting muddy, so I'm going to move on to a different bloom that hopefully is a little bit drier.
So you made a lighter color?
Darker for the center. Okay. But you can go back in, and once you have the center, then you get lighter on the outside. So when you're looking at a flower, usually the center is very dark, and then it gets lighter toward the edges, just by nature of the light. Sometimes also the coloring of the flower, it just depends. If you think about those like anemones that have like a black center, you could do something like that. So I'm going in and just using that chisel. I'm kind of pulling toward the center for these, but I'm going to go back in, and this is where also you can move. If you feel more comfortable with a smaller brush, you can move on to a different brush, but I'm just using the edge of my chisel. I think just all in the red there. I love you guys are all so serious and quiet. Gotta get these flowers. You totally can do it. You can do it. Yes, yes.
Hey, and if you're just now joining us out there, you can always replay this video on Plaid's Facebook page if you want to do the painting later. I know some of our regular painters start this a little bit later at night, so feel free to do that. And let's take a look at what's coming up next, Courtney.
So a lot of my paint is drying on my palette, so I'm improvising with another palette. I want to fix is relative. There's nothing wrong with any of this, but I think it's a little muddy there, so I just want to clean it up a little. So I'm mixing my color, that coral, which is neon yellow, neon pink, and white. If you look at my little color chart here, this is kind of the tone we're mixing. You can see if I just lay it down, it's super vibrant, but it's transparent, so I'm going to add a little bit of white, and that's going to help me get that coral tone I want. And I'm going to let this dry. But I can go back in and add some highlights if I wanted to play it a little bit, or change up the color of these. I can kind of layer on top. So the nice thing about the acrylic paint is once it's dry, you can layer on top. Some of you are adding texture with your paper towel. That looks good. I need to also do something with these ochre colors. So I probably will go to a different size brush.
What color again did you use to do the center of the flowers?
These ones?
Yes.
I mixed a little bit of, you can use ultramarine or your thunder color with a little bit of your lipstick red to get like a real deep purple. I think just like the base, like a deep blue, a deep purple. You may have noticed that we're not using any black. I personally, as a painter, never use black in my work unless it's like a graphic design piece where I'm doing something that's like really bold to have like black dots or something. It's always better to mix your darkest color yourself because black can kind of like deaden your other tones and your other colors. So mix something that's as close to black as you can get just by using the colors in front of you. Usually a deep brown and a deep blue look really nice together. You can mix a really dark purple with your darkest red and your darkest blue. All right. Let's see. I'm going to mix some more ochre. How are we on time, Deanna?
We are at 8:23, so it's been
almost an hour.
Almost an hour, but hey, it's about an hour, so no pressure.
All right, we're going to bring it home soon. We're getting on these last details, so everyone's looking really good with their florals. Some of you are already adding those details, which is perfect. I'm going to give you just a couple more minutes for some of these petal strokes, and then I want to show you one more thing with your size 1 brush.
Hey, and question from Karen. Yes, we're using acrylic paint. It's folk art.
Yes, hi Karen. Yeah, we're using acrylic paint. It's Folk Art brand. It comes in about 225 colors. It's thick and creamy right out of the bottle, which makes it really nice. It has really nice coverage, but as things dry, you can add more layers. If you absolutely could not rectify your painting, you could paint over it, but there are no mistakes. These flowers are very free form. So remember when you guys were doing your mark making in the very beginning with your number 1 round brush? And I was showing you could do dots if you wanted. You can add texture to your flowers. So I have these kind of amorphous ochre shapes. If I want to just add little marks in here to suggest like heather or clover or something else, I can do that just to add some texture. They don't have to be like specific petals. Maybe these have kind of that same center. You want to make sure things are dry as you start to add texture. I'm going to rinse out my brush. And then one of the last things I like to do, and I do a lot of watercolor actually, so this is something I do with my watercolor, and sometimes I use a nib pen or sometimes I use a really thin brush. I'm going to do a really deep color, kind of a contrasty, like deep purpley, and get a lot of water on my brush so that I have a nice kind of inky consistency. I've got like too many palettes happening here. So this is what this painting is, and this painting's not actually finished, but these kind of irregular, really loose scribbles on the outside of the flower I love. That's my sort of stylistic finish to a lot of the flowers I do. I like when it doesn't match up with my flower exactly. It's kind of like an off register. It's like a reverse coloring book. So with very little pressure, and you want to make sure that your flower underneath is dry. So just try to find one that is kind of dry. And you're just doing these like really loose scribbly motions around your flower. And this you may not like the texture that this brings, or if you don't like the super dark outline, pick a color that's the same color as your flower is already, or just slightly close to it. So if you have pink, maybe red as opposed to like a purple. But I really like the look. And I'm being really loose about it and kind of scratchy. It's very impressionistic.
Hey, and Courtney, in addition to like being author, teacher, maker extraordinaire, you also have your own shop too.
I do, yeah. In addition to my full-time creative gig, I have a shop in Oakland, California called Long Weekend, and we sell art supplies, zines, shoes, clothing, and we have a gallery. And I have a business partner, Christina Diaz. She's awesome, my partner in crime, and we actually have an opening on Friday for anybody who happens to be in the Oakland area. With Carissa Potter's work, who's really awesome. She's people I love. She makes cards and is also an author. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of things. All these blogger ladies know you got to put all the things together to make a life, right? All the things together. Okay, I'm gonna add some of that detail to my coral flowers here because I feel like they're a little bit lost. Again, I'm adding water to my paint to get a more inky consistency. And I can also do things like little circles around these. Like I said, it's off register and I actually like how that looks. That flower is still wet. Doesn't want to be worked on. Okay, so this is pretty close to being done. The last thing I want to do is just add a bit of a table, either below your vase, or if your vase goes right to the bottom, that's totally fine. We'll just have the table come out from either side so that your vase feels grounded. Yeah, this is looking awesome. And if we had more time, or when you go home and this dries, if you want to change the background color, you can still do that. It's never too late to change the painting, especially the background, because it was only one coat. So you can easily layer over it if you want to brighten it up or make it a little bit darker. And it's fine that you're painting around your shape. It takes a little bit longer, but it actually looks really cool. So I will go back to my chisel brush because I'm doing such a big area. And what color am I going to do this? I think kind of an ochre one. And because I don't want to paint right onto the easel, I am just going to hold it up. So my vase goes pretty close to the bottom. So I'm just going to try to come out from the vase to add my table. And try to make it as straight as possible.
That looks awesome.
Thanks.
Let us know in the comments how everyone's painting at home going. Are there just a couple more finishing touches here? And I love how everyone's done different colors, different backgrounds.
I'm using that chisel tip just to draw out. I'm using a tone in between my vase and my table, and I'm just drawing straight out for like a loose shadow shape. John's giggling back there. I can hear him.
All right, that looks awesome. If you're out there watching us, be sure to post your painting with hashtag #PaintWithPlaid or just straight to our Facebook page too.
Awesome. Everyone's still working on their florals. Maybe go around and see how people's paintings are doing. These look amazing.
All right.
Oh my god, I love this. I love all the texture. They look like really like rich mums. I love that texture there. These are awesome. Oh my god, I love these little feathery green. It's like pop. That coral is really good. You have like a nice balance of the neon and then the opacity of the white. That looks really cool. Nice complementary colors. It's beautiful. That purple background is really nice. Oh, you've got some purple here too. I love this. I love the texture in your guys' flowers. These are amazing. They make me feel like Odeon Redon. He's like a Parisian painter, and everybody is reminding me of that.
Yes.
That's what we were going for.
I love it. I know it's all intentional. I love this. Actually, I love that dry brush texture in there. That's really cool. Thank you. I love how some of you have like really spiky centers, some have swirly centers, some have like really deep, luscious centers. I like the variety of mark making.
Very intentional.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, thank you so much to everyone that's joined us for our fourth ever Paint with Plaid with special guest artist Courtney Siruni from Creative Bug. So much fun painting modern. And be sure to check out our giveaway. We're giving away a whole year subscription to Creative Bug and $150 worth of Plaid product. Check out that link in the comments. And if you loved tonight, get ready for our 5th ever Paint with Plaid for November. Kira from Plaid is going to be showing us how to paint Harvest Moonlight. So this is beautiful. Check it out in the event section. Be sure to RSVP. Check out Creative Bug. Our other partner, Joanne, thank you so much for joining us as well. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.